I get this comment all the time about the love bombing, and I get it. Women have been so hurt and disenfranchised by narcissistic men who love bomb them, and then they feel like, how could I have done that? How could I have thought he was the one? He was such a loser. And I want to say right now that a man who is love bombing a narcissistic man, his MO is to love and then withdraw. Love and then withdraw. And so you just said the thing about the 3-month rule. What is that?
Yeah, 3-month rule is a person who is love bombing can't maintain that. So they will love bomb, by showering you with gifts, compliments, everything. But after 3 months, people's true colors start to come out. They'll start to show you little signs, little ways about themselves that are true. They just can't maintain, right? You can only be fake for so long in life. And, right, it seems to kind of come to surface in about 3 months, right?
Yeah.
You start to see people change, their habits start changing, the way they treat you start changing.
Yeah.
They'll start doing, like you talked about earlier, about withdrawing and stuff, and then they'll start gaslighting and
blame
ways
shifting.
because they feel like, 3 months in, and I'm not saying to the day, I'm saying approximate. They'll start feeling like, okay, well, I've kind of settled in a little bit. I've got her. She's buying into this and such. And so now I can start to be my true self a little bit, little by little, because they're like testing you and they're like, oh, what can I get away with?
Yeah, what can I get away with? You talk about that all the time, that men will do that.
Sadly, men that aren't healed will do that. They'll be like, okay, well, I got away with this, so I can continue to push the boundaries.
They'll push the envelope of what you will accept, which he was saying this morning to go off on a tangent, but that's why abusive men will eventually trigger warning. I'm going to talk about abuse here. That is why abusive men will end up their woman or another woman eventually at some point, because that woman continued to let that man push and push and push.
Right. Perfect example. We were talking about this earlier. My sister was married to a very abusive man for a couple of years. And she got to the point where she didn't tolerate it anymore and she left him. Well, sadly, the next marriage that he entered, which was only a few months at that, so they were utilizing my sister as a placeholder, as we've talked about. You can't
say that word of what.
Yeah, and so he literally took
and went to prison.
Yeah, and went to prison because his next wife is no longer with us.
And she wouldn't tolerate, she tolerated the abuse to the point where and men that aren't only abusers, but all men that are unhealed that want to be narcissists are abusers. And so they're on the abusive spectrum. So an abuser will push and push and push to see what he can get away with.
So that's why I say the 3-month rule, right?
3-month rule.
Because a narcissist, a love bomber can't maintain.
Right.
They will not be able to. So you have to, play out the time, test them throughout that time. And I'm not saying like put them on notice in a sense, but look for those red flags, communicate if there's something that bothers you throughout our relationship. Anytime that she had a question, I was happy to show her, whether it be related to my phone, whether it may be related to a person on my contacts. We followed each other's
location the very first week
immediately
we were
she
dating.
said, hey, let's share locations, like within a week
because my past narcissist was shady and had a double life.
And I would say a love bomber might question that. A love bomber might be
make
not
you feel insecure,
willing to do so, or maybe bark back, have excuses why. Myself, I immediately said, sure, of course.
Right.
I have no problems. A real man, a man in his masculine who is healed, is going to want to do those things with you, is going to want to make you
feel safe,
is going to want to reassure you. Anytime you had a question, my goal wasn't to run from it or hide from the emotional state that you were in related to it. Was to say, how can I prove this to you so that you feel safe and comfortable in those moments?
Because you were all about the business of making me feel safe,
right? Which
is a healed man. That is his purpose. An unhealed man doesn't care about that, and in fact wants to make you feel unsafe, to throw you off, to have power and control.
Right. So to keep you maintained.
To keep you maintained. So to circle back to my original point, a love bomber, part of the love is the withdraw. It goes hand in hand. They're together. The love, the withdraw. you will start to see signs of him withdrawing the love and making you feel unsafe. And that's how you know it's love bombing.
Right.
There is none of that with a healed man. He just loves.
It continues. A healed
Continues to
man will
love.
continuously be obsessed with you. He will continue to want to do things. We're married now, and I told her earlier today, I will always chase you. I will always court you. I'm going to continue to strive to make her happy. Not because I already have her, but because I love her and I care about her. That's the difference.
Right.
An unhealed man will not do these things. He will keep going until he thinks he has you, and then he'll try to get away with the little things.
Start trying to get away with stuff.
And that manifests
Start trying to
about
push,
3 months.
Push you more. Push
Right.
you more.
I would say at 3 months, and then at 6 months, it's full head. Like if at 6 months, they're generally at their true self, and then it's a telling sign. So
Look at your relationship in 6 months and say,
Right.
do I want this for myself? Do I feel safe? Do I feel chosen? Do I feel calm in his presence? Do I have any doubts about how he feels about me? If it's the converse to any of those questions, he's not the one for you. Do you have anything to add?
no, just stay true to yourself, and the right one will come around. You will find your person, and yes, you will know when it's your person. I promise you that.
Not a shadow of a doubt, baby.
We had no doubts in this relationship. We did everything purposeful. We led with love in our relationship, and without a doubt, she is my person.
It's a beautiful love story, so hold out for it.